All right, we got this call locked down. We will get started. Welcome everyone to our Friday morning Go Diamond Daily Focus Call, our Freedom Friday call for Friday, December 13th, coming up quickly on the end of the year. We're wrapping up a cycle today. Tonight, we're wrapping up a period tonight, and again, it has been extraordinary. It's just remarkable what has happened here this year with the Zija International. We all know that this was a tremendous year as we've opened up so many so many countries internationally, many just getting started. I've had an opportunity to speak with corporate Ryan Rod over the last couple of weeks. Actually, this week quite a few times as we've got some very, very serious people looking at the business and using the most powerful tool that we have is a three-way call. And I know we preach, we teach. That is without question the most important tool that we have to help someone get to a positive decision. And sometimes it requires for the certain individuals to go upline to the top income earners, to even to corporate at some points. But it was really interesting getting a chance to hear the perspective of corporate, one-on-one with an individual. So many times they're limited to what they can talk about, what they can say at national, international calls. Outside of perhaps conventions, even then it's a bit limited, but getting a chance to really hear what's been happening with the company, what are the plans, what's the vision for Zija International, not only what we wanted to do this year, next year, but the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road. And it's very exciting to hear that information. I love doing three-way calls, especially with my sponsor, David Moses. Well, I've got one upline. So when I get a chance to talk with David, he's certainly in the know, has the pulse of what's going on with the company, the industry, our competitors, etc. And I'm always learning. And I truly know that a three-way call is not only critical for the prospects that we're speaking with, trying to get to a positive decision, but it's also a learning tool for us as distributors, whether it's myself that's been in the industry for decades and been with Zija quite some time, or a brand new person that's getting on the line and hearing that story about Zija International, learning how to communicate, learning what's important to communicate to our prospects. But as we've been talking, those that have had success in life, in business, in our industry, many of their concerns are, what is this company all about? What are the philosophies of the company? What is the vision of the company specifically? What are the numbers? And it was great to hear some of that information here. And, we all know that Zija International has really grown organically over the last 7 years. We've built, actually the last 6 years, we've built the company on organic growth, meaning people that have never been in the industry, people that have come in, have built their businesses, and it's an extremely strong following. The product has supported that. We all know how important the product is, how life-changing the product is, and that causes people to continue to stay on auto ship, reorder product, and it's just a rock solid foundation. Probably upwards of 80% of our company have never been in this industry before, and to reach a level that we are targeted, and we do expect. I know in the beginning of the year, our goal as a company was to be a $200 million company as we left 2013. Well, that certainly we're really, really close to that. We should be annualized at close to $200 million as we close out to 2013, up from $140 million in actual sales to the prior year. That is remarkable growth if you think about it. And of course, our target, as was stated on some of the things that I was listening, our most aggressive goal is to double to a $400 million company. But everyone understands that if we hit $300 million, that would be just remarkable. I mean, that's $100 million in growth. And think about that, $100 million in growth. Well, that certainly is nice to say, but some of the statistics, I know that the company right now has just is opening up another floor on our manufacturing facility, and we're actually only at about 30% capacity from a manufacturing standpoint. So there is no doubt that we can support that kind of growth, which will take many, many companies under. It would be just too quickly. So that was exciting to hear a lot about some of the other international countries, and where they're at, offices, delivery, product, etc. I know in 2013 we've opened up many countries, but really other than Canada, Japan, and the United States, all the other countries are really babies. They're just infants right now. Africa's had a tremendous, very, very fast surge. Things are working very, very well. In Asia, in Europe, leaders are beginning to come into those markets, and we were seeing the pace pick up there. South Central America, of course, Mexico, they've just recently opened up full product lines. So we know that 2014 is going to be the year to hit those goals. International, the developing of those markets that we already have open internationally is going to be critical, as well as the people that are joining here in North America, the current countries. And it's so exciting right now to know what's going to happen next year. And for everyone on the line, we can all have a part of that. We can all have a piece of that growth, but it does require our attention right now. This is a critical time of the year. I know the holidays are coming upon us real quickly. We're going to be talking with a lot of people, and they're going to give us, we're going to hear that, I'll get started at the first of the year. And personally, that's exactly what I did when I got involved in the industry just at 20 years ago. It's coming up on a 20-year anniversary, as a matter of fact. I was approached, and I think many people who have heard my story, if you listen to any of our conference calls, the opportunity calls, where I was approached by a good friend of mine in November and asked me to meet with a gentleman who was coming into the Dallas market, and we met. It was in November that we met, and after we met, I got very, very excited for the first time ever about the leverage and the opportunity of residual income in this industry of distribution, network marketing. Of course, I did my due diligence and had my discussions, and I decided that I was going to get involved. But at the time, we were moving into a new home. Of course, the kids were small. We had Christmas coming up. We had all kinds of the same things that everybody has, right? Everybody's got lots of things to do this time of year, along with the holidays and the excitement and just such a great feelings that happen at this time of year. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll start at the first of the year. And but what I want to do, because, and this is very, very important, especially when you get people saying the very same thing, I'll place my order this year, so then I have the product, I can start using the product. That's what was suggested to me, and then the first of the year, I can get rolling. So that's exactly what I did. And as we're talking to our prospects, I know we have a sense of urgency. We have goals. We want to reach another pin level. We want to help people in our organization reach another pin level. We want to capture this momentum, be part of this growth that's happening with ZG International. But it's all about our prospects, and there's really not a lot we can do, to force a decision. And of course, that's the last thing in the world that we want to do, is pressure anyone. But we can really help them out with emotion. We can help them out with logic. The emotional side of what we do is what's happening with ZG International. Have them listen to the Corporate Power Hour call next Tuesday night, the ZG Nation call, as I'm sure the company is going to outline a lot of things that have happened this year, talk about the successes here within Zija in 2013, start laying out the plans and the foundation for 2014. We have a Diamond Club retreat in January. I know there's a lot of programs that will be rolled out, announced at that point. But the point is, get them at least get them the information, get them on conference calls, opportunities because of my experience that the best thing that we can do, though, is place an order. Let's get our first order placed. Let's get the product. Let's start using the product. Talk about, and let them know that if you have that product as we go through the holidays, number one, you'll have a chance to use it. You'll get the experience. Especially, we know this time of year, right? It's all about weight loss. Everybody, it won't be long, and everybody is going to make that resolution that in 2014 they want to lose weight. Well, let's help them by the end of the year just kind of keep a lot of the weight off that they're going to be gaining through the holidays. Everybody would like to do that. But experiencing the product, also having samples, having samples that they can share with other people, especially as we get into the days and weeks leading up to the new year. So they can actually start their business without even knowing or even trying to start their business. The other piece that we want to talk to them about is the tax advantages of starting this year. That's huge. We're going to place our first order, and we may want to place an order for tools, right? And everything that they spend to get started here with Zeech International is a tax deduction for 2013. So they can literally write off and save 25-30% more, depending on their tax brackets, off that initial order or anything that they will spend here this year with Zeech. Now, the other part is let's show people, and this is something that we really maybe don't give enough attention to. I know some people do, and they understand it, but when we understand the tax implications, without a doubt, having a home-based business is the single greatest tax-saving strategy in America today, and even in Canada, I know that, where if you give people the proper information, of course, we're not accountants and we're not giving tax advice, but there's some very simple things that we know we can do. Not only is that first order tax deductible, but the first thing I did was sell my computer back to myself. We all have cell phones. We have other things that we're going to be using, technology, etc., in our businesses, and I sold those to my home-based business, and that was all a tax deduction. And then, of course, next year, many of the bills that we have for cell phones and long distance and other things that we're going to be doing will be tax deductible all year long. But there's a big bump that we can get at the minute we start our own businesses, our home-based businesses, and talk to other people in your upline. I want to take a lot of time speaking about that here today, other than all those tax advantages that are available. I mean, people are going to dinners, they're going to lunches, perhaps they're having parties, gatherings, get-togethers. Hey, why not talk a little bit about Zeja to those individuals? And I mean a little bit, really more than anything. Ask, the invitation, do you keep your options open, et cetera, et cetera. Let's get together. I'm going to show you something. Give them, perhaps even give them a website. But depending on where I'm at and the time, I want somebody's full attention. So I really will plant seeds and then schedule those follow-ups times, when the person does have time to give it full attention. But my point is, we talk about Zeech International. We have product put out. We use product every time that when we're in a restaurant. We'll have the product, maybe mix up the Smart Mix, Super Mix, and demonstrate, let people see it. The question's going to come out, of course. What is that? What are you doing, etc. But my point is that then becomes a business expense. It's amazing when you really focus on what you can do as a business, not only building our business, but as we build our business, what's tax deductible. So that's something to make people aware of, and it will help us because we know there's a little gestation period from the time we enroll someone until the time they get started. Many people want to get the product, they want to try the product, use the product. I understand that. Nothing I can do about that. It wasn't important to me. I certainly believed in nutrition. I believed in Ringo Affair. I believed in Zeech International. Why would I think all the results that hundreds of millions of people have had in servings of our products were not as we described them to be? But they could begin using that time of year, I'm planting seeds, I'm asking questions, everybody's in a good mood, I'm helping getting people information, being aware that I'll start, next year, and I, know how, in advance, I know how to handle that. So as we are closing out the rest of the year, it's important that our entire team doesn't lose momentum, doesn't lose that growth that the company that we have been experiencing, having everybody check out. I know I work harder at this time of year when I know most people are sleeping. We're having tremendous success. Many distributors in our organization, many leaders, just new people. The enrollments are still going strong. We've got great people's attention, and there's no reason that we should think that it would be any different, because obviously whatever we think about is going to happen. If we think it's slow, I guarantee you it's going to be slow. Why? Because we are going to be slow. Our mind slows us down. If we believe this is a phenomenal time of year, people are looking for opportunities, and they are. People are looking to improve their health, lose weight, and they are. Then we can have that kind of success. This is a time that I put the pedal to the metal just a little bit more. Of course, I'm going to take time off for the holidays, for Christmas, to be with my family and people coming in from out of town. I am, of course, but I'm going to use every moment that I have to continue to build the business and to support the people in our organization. So being Freedom Friday, we're closing out a week, we're closing out a month. Our goal is always and still the same, and that is, how can we drive more pins in this week in our organization? How can we help, just as important, people re-qualify for their pins this week? How can we help people create larger checks that'll help them pay for the expenses and the gifts and everything that's happening through the holidays? It just drives me absolutely insane when people complain that they don't have money and times are tough and money's tight, yet they won't, do anything about it. We've got something, and most people, it's not that they won't do anything about it, and they really don't know what to do. What can I do extra? No time to go get a job or make money on the side? Yes, there is, and that's ZJ International. And so we have got the solution. Now, being Freedom Friday, again, those principles are still the same. Three-way calls, the most effective tool that we have. Hopefully everybody's monitored their organization. We talk about this many, many times throughout the year. Who is it that's reaching pins? I was going through again one more time this morning before the call. Different key people in the organization, scrolling down through some of the people in their organization. I know one in particular, there's several people that are extremely close to Builder 500, Builder 1000. They're fairly new people. And so I've got my calls to make. Hey, we need to pick up 50 points here. We need to, maybe a box of XM3 liquid. That would be 50 points. That's samples that we need throughout the year if we need to place an order. A case of product. In another case, we'll crack another Builder 500. And, it's amazing they're talking Builder 500s, but, with new groups, young groups, that's the most important pin that we have. It's the only qualifier that we have in the compensation plan. So my focus is always on teaching people what it means to be Builder 500. If the distributor understands that, the new person understands that important title, and the goal would be to be Builder 500 every week, well, if they do that, it's just inevitable that in a very short period of time, they will be Builder 1000. They will know what a Builder 500 leg is to reach bronze and silver and 2 for gold and start qualifying for the Benz program, the luxury car program. So it's an opportunity not only to build the business, create pins, create checks that will go all the way upline from the individuals, but also teach. It's an opportunity to teach the compensation plan, and that's the best way to learn it, is to actually get paid in it. We also want to, again, be aware of what's happening within our organization. There's several leaders in our group that, on Fridays it's kind of fun. Everybody's, working hard. We're helping people get to those positive decisions, getting them in the computer system, and depth charging. Calling each other. Hey, I've got this, I've got that, I've got a personal system, a builder 1 or builder 2 going in. Do you have anything that we can leverage? Anybody that you've been talking to for some time that now all it's going to take is saying, hey, if you get in today, I'll have people in your business by the end of the day. You'll already have a team being built. Depth charging is a powerful, powerful tool. If you have one application in hand, why not have 2, 3, 4 leveraged off of that? And that will create excitement. It will create momentum. So I think really at this time of year, people are in a positive mood. For the most part, most people, no matter what circumstances are, is just a very important time of the year. It's a very spiritual time of the year. It's an exciting time of the year. It's a warm time of the year. It's a friendly time of the year. And people are typically open for discussions. And we just have to make that happen. We just have to, break that ice and begin those discussions. And people will then begin with those resolutions. Now, thinking about, all right, we've got to make some changes. And there's again, one of the most important concepts of what we do is to be successful. People want to follow successful people. So as we're celebrating the successes of other people in ZJ, specifically in our groups, as we're celebrating rank advancements and we're celebrating people getting new cars and the Team Benz, and we're celebrating those successes, other people know about it, other people hear about it, so they want to be a part of what we do. Other people begin to believe even more that it's possible for them, because I think that's, this time of year, it is about possibilities, especially as we're going into 2014. It's about the possibilities of what life can be like this time next year. It's just so wonderful. Over the last 18 years, being full-time, working from home, all those little things that seem to be such an annoyance, just getting out to get something at the last minute or shopping. Where do I fit that in? Everybody's so busy because from 8 to 5, they're at a job. They really can't get away, can't get out. And, people coming in from out of town and all those things, we've got to juggle with that, 8 to 5 commitment, or perhaps even another traditional small business when we're dealing with taxes for the end of the year, employees and the company parties and all those things we have to do. It's so wonderful to have life be simpler and to have that flexibility of time, to have that income that we don't have to worry about how much we're gonna spend and what we're gonna do, and can we travel, and just all those things that people are concerned about that I know I used to be concerned about. It's having that income, having that leverage. Things slow down. It's nice to take time and also have a nice check coming in every week. But just as important to have that time so that we can spend it this time of year in those areas with those people, with our church or whatever it may be. Organizations, civic organizations, charitable organizations. We have both the income, the money to give, and more important, we have the time to give. And it doesn't stress us out, and it doesn't stress our family out. People need to know, why they would want what this industry has to offer. What are the possibilities if they develop, even on a part-time basis, that residual income, and how that can turn into a full-time career, a full-time income. So as people are reflecting about 213 and they're not happy with their job or the ceilings that they're finding or the people that they're working with, the bosses that they have, we need to have those discussions and tell those stories of what's happening with ZJ International, with your upline. Tell their stories, especially those that are full-time and those that are having the successes I had just mentioned. And hey, let's have those successes ourselves. What about qualify? We've got time. We got a new period. Qualify for Team Benz. Start looking at cars, talking to people about, hey, we're getting a car on this company company we're working with, you know, those are the things that are going to get people's attention this time of year. And above all, Freedom Friday is about freeway calls, and let upline talk about those things also. We can talk about them to the people we know. That's okay, you know, but we have that relationship. There's an overlay of that relationship, and they know us very, very well. But when it comes from a third party, and that third party can discuss the successes that are happening, the lifestyles that people are living, the stress that's being eliminated, the time that people have, that's going to be even more impactful than what we can say. And of course, the more experienced, longer someone in your upline has been around ZJ International in the industry, they can talk about those possibilities, and that's what's going to get somebody involved. Yeah, they're going to want to use the product. Obviously, they can see they have a need for that, especially at this time of year, as I mentioned. But the possibilities of what 2014 can be for all of us, for them, for everybody on the line, this is a magic moment in time. 2014 is already set up. It will happen. It will happen big. Without you, with me, without me, ZJ is destined to be $1 billion brand, and it won't be long. We know that. The PPP pool number 2 is going to happen next year. They'll announce that. Guaranteed, we're going to be hitting that 300 million mark. Or as soon as we get edging up close to it, they'll announce it. Who doesn't want to be a part of that? We all still have time to be able to get into that pool. We're not going to be able to do it if we take the next couple of weeks off. Not that a couple of weeks is going to make a big difference in our business, but over time, it absolutely will. Because the momentum that we have, no matter how big, how small our momentum is, whatever that level is, if we check out, it will decline. We will lose whatever it is that we have. So we don't want to do that. If anything, we want to maintain that through this time of year and advance it if we possibly can, and we can. There's no doubt. I know I will. There's no other option. But it's what we're doing now that's going to pay us in 3, 6, 9 months. So while everyone else is sleeping, let's go out there. Freedom fighters, let's go out there and still you get those exposures. Introduce people to ZJ International. Get them excited about it. Get them excited about the possibilities. Plant those seeds, and I know they will spring up and in full bloom very, very quickly, especially at the first of the year when everybody now realizes, okay, well, what is life like right now, and what changes do I want to make? So let's work together this Freedom Friday. Let's advance people. Let's show them by example that we're in the game, that we're working, we're having fun, we're doing what we need to do to build our businesses. We're excited about the possibilities of 2014, and we're going to make 2014 begin to happen right now. So if you're a freedom fighter, if you're fighting for your financial independence, all those on your team, if you want to make 2014 a life-changing year, I mean a life-changing year, there will be people, I can assure you, as we go through 2014 and this kind of growth and momentum in this company, you can bank on checks multiplying by 5 and 10, making $1,000 a month, making 5 at the end of the year, making 10 at the end of the year. It's the numbers, they don't lie. I've watched it happen. I know too many stories and statistics that show that's going to happen. But we need to get going now. We need to stay going now. I guess that's the best way to put it. So if you're a freedom fighter, if you're fighting for that financial independence, that 2014 is going to be the year that changes your life. I love to hear it as we get off the line. Everybody have a great, great day. I know we'll be working hard. Actually, I'm going to take a little time off today. My daughter's graduating. Just to let everybody know, my daughter graduates nursing school. Her pinning ceremony is today and graduation tomorrow. Just an amazing, amazing young lady. And I'm so proud of her, so happy for her. And it's a celebration here at the Goals House, that's for sure. And I just attribute so much to this industry, and I thank ZJ for obviously providing not only the income to support that, but also the time to be there and work with her as she was going through all the trials freedom fighters, let's hear as we get off the line.
Awesome call, Ron. Thank you. And great show. Fantastic and congratulations. Thank you, Ron. California.
Thank you, Rochester, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a freedom fighter.